Welcome back to the Victor Gonzalez Show, and today we're going to be talking about the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans have been through a lot over the past 3 years. 3 years ago, they were in the divisional round against the Kansas City Chiefs, up 24 points, and lost that game. Bill O'Brien then that offseason traded DeAndre Hopkins. He was shipped for a second, a fourth, and David Johnson to the Arizona Cardinals. Then, following next season, they fired him. David Culley comes in. They go and have a horrendous season with Deshaun Watson out the entire year for the reasons that are still ongoing. Now you're looking at a new season with Lovie Smith as your defensive coordinator. Deshaun Watson's now traded. Davis Mills, the starting quarterback for last season, is now heading into his second year. And now they're trying to build weapons around him. The weapons actually look a lot better. You have Marlon Mack, Rex Burkhead, Damon Pierce, a rookie out of Florida, Andy Janovich as your fullback. Those will be your main four backs. As your receivers, you have five. You have Nico Collins, who was a very good receiver last year for the Texans, being a second-year guy out of Michigan. You have Brandon Cooks, who had one of the best seasons as a receiver in general last year. John Mechie, who was a very good slot guy, who played very well and opened up the offense for Alabama, and is one of those guys who was not talked about enough during the NFL draft process. You have Chris Conley, who's been around the league with Kansas City, Jacksonville, and now Houston. And then you have Philip Dorsett, who was with the Colts, then to New England, and now with Houston. You have five guys who either are very young and have only spent time in Houston, or guys who've been around the league and have good cultures that they've been around and are able to try to bring that to Houston. Now looking at their tight ends, they've got Brevon Jordan, a guy out of Miami who's now looking into his second year as a Houston tight end. And then you've got Pharaoh Brown right behind him, who's had some time around the league as well at 28 years old. He's been in the league for a few years. Been in Houston for the past few. And now you're looking at your O-line. Laramie Tunsil, their big payday left tackle. Kenyon Green, their first-round pick. Their center, Justin Britt. Their right guard, A.J. Cann. And their right tackle, Titus Howard. The great thing about this team that they're going to have to really focus on is how they're surrounding Davis Mills. With the amount of college quarterbacks that are coming in next season, if they have a down year, guys like Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, those will be the main focuses of this upcoming draft. And you can find a way to pass up on Davis Mills and make him a backup quarterback if you get one of those guys who have been seen as one of those franchise guys, especially a guy like Bryce Young, who's played well at Alabama his entire career. Now, what did they do to try to help Davis Mills out? They really have built this offense around him. They've got young guys, they've got weapons across the board, and now they've got guys who can pass catch, who can get out of the backfield, who can block for him at all three levels. They have someone for him, which is one of those things that when you're building around a young quarterback, having a good O-line, having a good running game are two of the main important things, and having secure, sure-handed receivers is the last thing that allows a quarterback to not have as much stress on him, which is something with how the Houston Texans have really put themselves back a few steps from a few years ago. It's a step in the right direction, now getting past all of their the drama that they've had over the past couple years.